Hi everyone, today we're going to work on a few quilt squares I started making with yarn. I have made these quilts before. They're really nice. You can also make a big one and use it as a backing on I made toddler blankets like that with crocheting on the backing, and they turn out really nice. So you can have a variety. You can also make them like this for beginners. Make them to size and make them into dishcloths. I use lily yarn for that because it's 100% cotton and these. And we're going to get started on this. So the first thing you're going to do, chain. So go ahead and twist it. If you haven't watched the prior videos where I showed how to crochet a chain in a double stitch, you will want to refer back to that one. So you're just going to go ahead and start it, and then you're going to crochet probably 25-ish. So there's 3, 4. If you're making the dishcloth, probably about 30 to 35 would be good as well. So you want to go ahead and hold that last stitch and chain 2, and then go back and leave your yarn around, go back and put it into that first hole, and then you're going to pull it through 2, and then pull it through 2. And you're going to, I'll show you a couple more here. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to finish that up all the way along, and then I'll meet you back here. Welcome back. We have just gotten to the end of the second row there. So that is your first double crochet. So we're going to flip that over that way, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to go ahead and start back in. Not this one here where your chain is off of, but the next one there. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to double crochet another row. And you're going through both loops on the top. So you can see both loops are on there. So we'll go ahead and finish up this row, and this is 1. So you're working on number 2 now. So do that second one, and then the 3rd and 4th, and we'll meet you back here. Okay, we're just finishing up with our last few stitches here. I don't think I've shown you up to this point of how to turn around when you get to the end of where you put your stitch in at. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up these last few here, and I'm going to show you that, and then I'll take that back out so we can finish it off. Okay, so that's stitch number 34, and this is stitch number 35. So you'll go ahead, and of course I have to have a dark color here, but you're going to drop it down into, there was a knot in that one too. You're going to drop it down into that and pull back out, and you're going to double stitch it just like you would a normal stitch. And then when you turn it around, that's when you would come back up here and do that. And then go ahead. So we're going to go ahead and tie it off. So you're going to pull that through, cut it, take the yarn out, and then pull that tight. I'm going to put the outside trim on. If you're making, and as you can see, I tie mine. If I have little pieces, I will tie them back onto that ball of that color, and I'll go ahead and use that, and there's a way to tuck in those ends. So I can just start there in the middle, and you want it through both sides again. And you're going to hold on to that and then loop that through, and you're also going to loop it through this one. So now your yarn is attached. Take 1 stitch, and then we're going to bring it down and then stitch both of them. So it's kind of like a single crochet, not like the chain, but a single crochet stitch. So you're just pulling it through and bringing it, so wrap it around, pull it through, bring it up to the top, and pull through both. So then it gives that appearance, which is what I did on these ones. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then I'll meet you back here. So I haven't finished it yet, but I am coming up to one of the knots in my balls of yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do that. And Okay, I come to a point here. I'm not quite finished with this going around, but we're going to go ahead and show you how to tie in a knot if you have a knot in your yarn. So go ahead and put that through, pull it up. Now always hold these closest to this. So we're going to go ahead and reach those and put those around. That way it hides it better. Then you're going to pull it up and you're just going to pull that right through it. And then we're going to keep following along just as we do in the start where we tuck our tail. Now, in order for it to not fold up, you're going to want to throw in an extra stitch. So I just go down in between there. I'm trying to you don't want to put it in the same hole that that one was. So go to the next one. So on the end, you're going to have where your rows are. So you're going to have spaces in between there. So I always put one in those. Whoops, and then one in the center of that. Then, there we go. So one in that part, the big hole that's there. And then one in the center. Now don't worry about the ends tucking out too much. We are going to trim those off if we need to. One in the big hole. And one in the center. Now this comes loose, so you can tighten that up. Go ahead and put your stitch in there. Now we need two. Remember, going around the corner, you want to turn that corner, so you got to make that a little bit bigger. Otherwise it does roll up, but that way it lays flat still. And then you're just going to continue on as normal through the net. At this point, we're going to go ahead and take our last stitch here. And you can see how I got this one up here. That's not your first row stitch. Your first row stitch is there. So you can go ahead and put it in that one, pull it through, and then pull this through. Okay, so that's not your last one then, so we're going to go ahead and stitch that one in. And then we're going to put it in our last, or our first stitch there. And go ahead and pull that through. I had to cut it off, I made a mistake. I had to redo this one. So it might be a little tight here, so go ahead and do that. And then you're going to wrap it around, and you're going to pull that through there as well. And then you're going to pull that tight, and that ends our square. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach these. Find whatever side it works best on. You can put it in any order you want, depending on what you're making, or if you just want to leave it, you know, say you did one this size, and you just want to leave it like that for a dishcloth, it would work perfect for that. But I like to just line them up to whatever side looks good. Get my yarn started. Then you want to watch for your ends here. Make sure your best sides are the ones that's facing up. So like, I think I'll put it this way, and we'll go ahead and connect it with these two, so I'm not fighting the knot when I connect it this time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in the corner. Have patience with it, basically. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our first stitch here and work it through that one. And then we're going to pull it through. Okay, and then we got that stitched together. We can pull that in there. And then you're just going to go ahead and you're going to sew or stitch it just like you stitched that other. By putting it into the stitches. And by giving it this extra one up here, when you do that, you actually give it room to fold open. So it's really important to make sure you got that stitch when you're doing it. So put it through there, put it through there, and your stitches should line up nicely. Hold that tail in, pull it through, and stitch that together. See, once you get going on it, it really loosens up. So it's not so hard to do. And the only time that you struggle at all with this is at the beginning. then it's fairly easy. So I'll go ahead and I'll finish this up all the way down, and then we will meet you at the other end. Okay, we're not at the other end yet, but I want to show you. This does happen once in a while, if or the width of this on the length of this. So it is a few stitches off, which is just fine. So all you have to do to cinch that up is go through the same hole on the shorter side. So you see the top is shorter, the bottom is wider. Go through that same hole, and then go through the next hole on the bottom. And then I'll do a couple more regular, then I'll do it again. So go through that same hole there and go through the next one here. And you just see now it's lined up good. So and I'll finish this up and meet you back. Okay, so we're onto the last stitch here. So we're going to go ahead and put that stitch in there. Make sure you're grabbing your stitching, that last edge we put on them. And then pull that through. Then we'll go ahead and grab a loop. Cut that off. Then when you open it up, it'll look like that. Go next with maybe that one there. And do this one this way. Or you want a thicker blanket, which is great for top. There's so many different ways to do it, but this is a great way to incorporate crocheting into the blanket. It gives it a nice little touch. So I hope you learned something new. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and then ding that bell so you get the notifications when we have new projects come out. Thank you guys. Have a good night.